right, so guys, we found a bunch of goodies at ICT Billet, and it was kind of like LS
Christmas.
a la carte, you know, it was like a buffet of just all sorts of wonderful goodness. The more you looked, the more you found, the more you wanted to, more and more goodies. So, all right, these guys sent this stuff expedited, which I was extremely happy with their customer service. So, oh man, so we got the wire tool. So this might sound a little obsessive, but I was even interested in this for weight savings because I was figuring, you know, we might drop another couple pounds off the engine. You know, it's a little heavy, but yeah. But I think that we will save a little bit of weight, you know, deleting all the junk that's in that other plate. So yeah, that right there is the OEM one, and we're not running the 4-cylinder mode, so that'll be gone. Since we're going to be running the turbo, coils, wires are always a problem, possibly getting burned up. So what we're going to do is we're going to remote mount our coils and have a custom wire set. And they even sent us the hand crimp tool. That's so sweet. We're still going to run our factory fuel pressure sensor. I just wanted to be able to get the fitting for it. Apparently this is a different fitting than an LS. My favorite item. I know where it's right in here.
Yeah, you gotta
wait. Can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. This is going to be super cool. So guys, they even make an LS7 adapter for an LT. So what we're going to do is we're going to not use the port fuel injection part of it. We're going to keep it direct injection, but the fact that the LS7 intake manifold will fit on there is pretty exciting. So we are still going to keep the direct injection portion of this, but we want to try and run the LS7 intake manifold at least for testing. My hunch, I think that's going to be the winner.
Coil brackets.
Oh yeah.
Remote mounts.
Yeah, that's going to be really nice. That's really, really simple. Pretty darn sweet, man. That right there is what we need for our oil pressure kind of remote mount deal. Now the other thing too, we were talking about, yes, exactly. We're still being able to use our oiling to our turbos with this setup right here. And I mean, this is so convenient. It saves you from having to drill and tap stuff.
And this would be if you're deleting the cooler.
Yes. If we delete the cooler, we would run this. So this is a deadhead right there. But if we're going to go straight through, can't really totally see, but you can see that that goes straight through there. So we're still going to be able to retain our oil cooler and be able to have our oiling going to our turbos for these 1/8" NPTs. Oh man. So ICT just came out with this right before LS Fest West, and this is a really, really, really nice item that dresses up the motor a whole lot. So guys, on any motor that I've really spent a good amount of time with, like my LS7, I did put on different valve covers and did a remote mount coil. And these are very, very, very nice. Yeah, why don't you pull that out, George? I can't wait to see that thing in person. It looks pretty awesome on the website. Oh, dude, that is hot right there. Dude, that is really, really good looking. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Compared to
compared to the stock ones. The LT is not the prettiest motor, I will definitely say that, but that dresses it up a whole nother level.
sick.
Yeah, they are, dude. That is really, really nice.
Dang. Some billet valve covers?
Hell yeah, man. I like it. I freaking love them. Okay, so I told them, hey, I wanted to be able to keep, well, actually not that one. Or was it? No, this one right here. So I wanted to be able to keep the oil cooler still so that we have an oil to water one that's in the radiator, and somehow keep that but still be able to get the oil to the turbos, you know, cleanly, safely. And that's really, really a nice unit in the fact that we can keep everything out of the way but still have all the cooling. So I was really excited about that.
They even gave you a t-shirt, your extra small size that you wear?
It's a schmedium, and if you look, they had one custom made for me. So. Okay, so guys, this is the factory throttle body that comes on an L83. So that right there is 80 millimeters. I thought it was a little bit more. I was a little bit disappointed to find out that it was that. I kind of felt like a little bit shafted there. I was like, yeah, it's a little bit small. All right, so a factory L21 throttle body should be right about 87. The hardest measurement ever. All right, so 87 millimeters right there. Now this right here, this is a Nick Williams 102. We're going to be using this on another project that we have right there. You guys have seen before, we have a Copo, Colorado. We're going to be trying to get better induction on that with that throttle body. What do you have going on there?
Only one's cut. I had to make a match though. I
thought you were like some sort of gang or something like that.
I actually very minorly cut my finger, but I didn't want it to get dirty.
You had to be symmetric?
Yeah, it had to be symmetric, so I cut this one.
Oh.
I don't like when things aren't symmetric. That's why your beard bugs me so much. It's so unsymmetrical. Look how low that side is.
You want to fix it for me? No, we're not fixing it with that. Hey, on the first video of the S10, we were talking about testing out different intake manifolds. However, a couple more possibilities opened up, and we kind of learned a couple other things as well. I thought there was just one intake manifold, but when I got to thinking about it, knowing that the throttle body was much smaller on one manifold versus the other, this is the L83, that's the L86, that's the LT1, and then the LS7. So this right here has an 80mm throttle body, and perhaps it might have a different runner volume. It's an altogether different intake manifold. I do believe that this is going to yield the most torque from some of the research of what we've seen that Sloppy Mechanics has done on their setup. Now that right there, the LT1, that'll probably make a bit more top-end power, while that will make a little bit more torque. Now I know that the LS7, naturally aspirated right there, is a good performer and really designed for a 7-liter engine that revs. So on paper, I would think that that manifold should be able to make the most overall power. But it would also be sacrificing a little bit of bottom end torque. So what is the thickness of that? It looks about more than a ½ inch. Yeah, that is a clever adapter right there. So yeah, if we got the geometry figured out, we could be able to make that work without having to, well, I don't know. Actually, we're definitely still hitting. That side we're not, but that side we are. All right, so this LS7 adapter for the LT was designed to be able to delete the direct injection. We're gonna try and do it without doing that. Ideally, we would like to be able to keep the direct injection. There's a lot of talk of doing the direct injection plus the port injection, but I'm trying to keep as much of this as possible on the factory ECU. Most certainly some stuff is gonna have to be cut. The inner fenders, those are gonna have to go. Okay, so we're gonna delete this. Probably have a bar that ties in and holds the top, you know, kind of mount there.
It's gonna be a front hoop to hang the fenders.
Yeah.
And the radiator for square off.
He said it better. All right, Georgie. Let's get cutting some stuff. A lot of this inner fender is gonna need to go so we have more space for our intercooler and our radiator. All right, we did come to the conclusion we're gonna try and do a V-type cooling. So the radiator will be on the top, intercooler on the bottom. Heat from the radiator is going to be greater, and that heat we're going to try and be able to extract, possibly through the hood. Intercooler is still going to be able to generate a good amount of heat, but not nearly as what is coming through the coolant.
Making clearance for the 40-inch radiators drop in these fenders?
Yeah, basically so that we should be able to have an intercooler that's about as wide.
But now you don't want to go too far into the inner fenders because you're going to have tire clearance issues when the front end comes down some more.
That's true. However, we're also spacing the front tires out farther, possibly. We're out a little bit right now. Obviously, we don't want to have our intercooler hit the tire, but we got to be able to be judicious, but yet be able to optimize every inch that we got. So let's make something happen. So Laz is being the voice of reason. We just wanted to cut everything apart. So we're cutting the bare minimum there. These guys are going to go. We'll be able to stick our cooler down in there a little bit lower, a little bit tighter. I mean, this thing's probably going to be totally sliced up before we know it. However, we do have the frame to deal with right there, so we're not going to be relieving the frame too darn much in there. So inner fender is going to go out, and these guys are going to get removed. The grinder's a beast.
So by the time we're done, we'll have Zeus clips and just rip the whole front end off?
Yeah, we're getting a little more racy every time we touch this thing. All right, I got something creative that I really want to try and do, and it is right here. Yes, that's just a box, but we're going to turn it into something else. All right, so guys, I have a friend of mine that is built a bunch of intercooler cores before. I just talked to him, I bounced some ideas off of him, and he's like, dude, that's like the same exact thing that I did for Viper. Made about 1,200 horsepower. So let's check this out. This is the dimensions, and I'm going to try and make this happen. Feeds like that, in a V, inlets kind of facing like that. Let's make it happen. Mishimoto, make some magic.
One on the top, radiator on the bottom, right?
No, or yeah. Sorry.
You wanted to stack.
No. Intercooler on the bottom.
Intercooler on the bottom?
Intercooler on the bottom, radiator on the top.
Some transition in the middle of the probably have to get rid of a lot of this. Get some more height on the front edge of this.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I still have 3 inches I have to add here, and then 3 inches I have to add there.
I don't know.
It could go wider. So right now that's 34. I got to add 3 inches on the top. It'll taper down.
I'm not gonna have much distance here.
Hell yeah, that's the point.
Turbo.
Perfect.
There to there.
Exactly.
There has to be a radiator there too.
Radiator will be on top. All right, we got some progress right about here. I think we're maybe about halfway. So 15 by 15 core, and we have this part right here. This is blocked off because we don't want the air to pass through. We want to be able to funnel all the air through the heat exchangers. We got to build our end caps, our inlet, and our outlet. There's room right there. That yields a lot more room right there. I think we'll be able to get our stuff in that we need to. Hell, this whole thing's gonna be Swiss cheesed and, you know, just a facade at that point anyway. I wanna get this. If we pull the grill out and we open that up and, I don't know, let's see what we got. All right, we were just talking about how I whacked my forehead with this antenna, and I was like, man, that thing's gotta go. We gotta get rid of it. And I was like, what the hell is that? That's pretty awesome though. Maybe we can get my my son to tack that up. So it's been all summer long. My son's been learning how to do some welding and all that, and he's been making all sorts of crazy stuff like that. Just turned 13 yesterday. Oh yeah, the rat rod is awesome. That's pretty sick, man. Very cool. So I went home, had some birthday stuff for the kid. These guys were here killing it. I was so excited. Look at this. It is mocked up. We were getting so close. Really, really coming together. I love the layout of it. I love the height. That's exactly what we wanted. Kind of a halfway out the hood. So cool. So since the last time we've been here, I see you guys all dressed it up and everything. Jeez.
That make it look pretty.
Heck yeah, it looks so good with those valve covers, man. So we did the extra relief right here so we can get and test that truck intake manifold on there. Who knows? Might make a bunch more torque and might even make a little bit more top end horsepower, but we're willing to give it a shot. We got our motor plate all really down to what it needs to be, right?
The front one. The
Yeah.
back one hasn't been addressed yet.
Okay.
We need to figure out the wastegate placement.
Yes, yes. So guys, we got an idea what we want to do with the gates. Don't know exactly how it's going to lay out, but I think we're going to have some sort of a remote mount, and maybe somewhere out this way right here. And then our downpipe is that's going to be a tricky one right there. Downpipe's going to need to be something like that. But yeah, I think actually that shouldn't be too bad. If we grab the gate coming out right there, I think we can really do what we need to do. Let's get that intercooler mocked up in there and then figure out what we're going to do. All right, so we have a radiator right here that is roughly the dimensions that we want to run. We might get something a little bit different, but we have our mocked up Mishimoto box. We do plan on going with some Mishimoto cores that we're going to design. I was thinking about it a little bit, and we might need to extend it this way, but Laz, when you guys were mocking this up last night, you said I might need to go
A little bit shorter.
might need to be a little bit smaller. We're kind of going into
If you're staying with the B
yeah.
configuration.
If you guys have been watching for a while, I know you're probably like, you guys done this before. Yes and no. This is quite a bit different. We have a good layout right here. So much more stuff is removed. We have a vastly different plan. So this is what we're thinking. I wanted to tell you why we've done what we've done. All right, so we're really getting nerdy about all of our thermal stuff, and
Talk nerdy to me.
oh, that's my language right there. Nerdy is my language. So we get a little bit crazy with the thermal side of things here. If we can have a small amount of volume to fill up, this thing will respond and light off like that. Guys, when I had my ATSV, and we did have the fastest ATSV in the world, that thing responded just like a naturally aspirated 7-liter motor. And the reason for that is that the boost had only about maybe 18 inches to travel. The turbo went immediately into the plenum, and there was an intercooler in the plenum. Same idea with this. We want to have the most minimal travel going from the turbine, going through the heat exchanger to the throttle body, and gaining boost right there just as fast as we possibly can. So we've been asked a whole bunch of times, hey, why don't you guys put the turbos in the bed? Because that's not going to deliver what we want. We want this thing to feel like a gigantic naturally aspirated motor. You know, something in the neighborhood of like a 700 or 800 cubic inch engine. And if we can make that kind of torque, that's what it'll feel like. All right, so we'd already covered the fact that more than likely we're gonna need to shave about an inch off of that right there. Maybe bring that down. Let's try and get a radiator in there and maybe establish some sort of dimension of what we're gonna be able to run with a radiator. All right, so we've relieved a bunch right here. Actually, we could be able to, what if we folded that down or cut that?
We just need to go wider on it.
Yeah. Actually, let's do that right now because we can't even lay that in there. That would give us a closer idea though. George just cut this thing up another inch or so. So we should be able to get this mock-up in. All right, so we're looking a lot better there. All right, now the reason we wanted to do this, the reason we were talking about doing the radiator on the top and the intercooler on the bottom, heat rises. Now, if you guys have ever been around a campfire or anything like that, how rapidly that heat rises as the smoke is going up. That's the heat rising that fast. When you really think about that, the heat exchanger on the bottom, so the intercooler on the bottom is going to have a moderate amount of heat, but not nearly as much as what this is going to have. So if we can have this and extract that through the hood, or at least the majority of it, we should be able to control our heat, I would hope. Shrouding it in the correct way, really, it's going to be a tricky deal. This looks very, very difficult in order to make something like that fit. So we're looking at somewhere about, that's not a lot of inches at that point. It is wide, and we're approaching what we want, but not there yet.
We'll do heat extractor here, but then you're going to put funnel air in here too.
Yeah, and I was definitely thinking about that. So we want to kind of shroud that up, and we could build a shroud on the hood, very much like the C7 or something like that. But
when I did your C6 heat extractor hood back in the day, you noticed a difference with that, just pulling under hood heat?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I mean, somehow or another, we need to be able to extract the heat centrally right here, but not have that heat be going right back into the turbos.
Now, another question is, when you do a radiator in this configuration, I really don't know. What are you thinking for a fan placement?
I don't know. Good question.
So obviously, underneath on the bottom of the heat exchanger or the intercooler would be fine, but
yeah,
it'd be kind of an eyesore up here. But I guess we can do it.
Yeah. Now we might have to go to the bed. I really don't want to go to the bed.
3 little 8-inch fans. You're only going to have 13 inches and 12 inches of radiator.
Yeah, we need to measure what we got right there, and we don't have much more to cut on the core support either, right?
Well, no, I'm saying if this comes up slightly at 11 inches, it drop down in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're going to ditch the hood latch and go hood pins all the way around.
And then,
race truck.
It is a race truck.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be like a daily driver.
Not daily driver.
I mean, we could come all the way to the inside of the hood, but you're modifying the hood at that point too.
Indeed, indeed.
This is for a newer style truck, and this is 2-inch thick core. We're going to stay with a 2-inch thick core, or we're going to go single pass radiator or dual pass.
Well,
there's a bunch of variables here you have when you're building something from scratch.
Yeah, no, that's true. If we could have something that's a thicker core, hopefully we get more volume and a dual pass, that would probably get the goal accomplished. But I think we'd have to talk to Mishimoto about that. Possibly some sort of thermal engineer. Guys, all through this month of August, we are offering 2 MPVI2s to random winners that we will pick from Fasterproms purchases. That is the software that I use day in and day out in order to tune vehicles, and it is absolutely the best on the market.
That was so gross.
I don't know which side's which.
Give it to him. You're not eating that. What are you thinking? You don't know which side's which. You are nasty as hell. Oh god, that was disgusting. The way he's looking at you is like pure love. This is disgusting.
You get it?